to now use all the information that we had used in the last couple of sessions in order to start building our strategy, where we have connected our strategy with TradingView. So signals coming from TradingView and executed on Tradetron. Now, before we begin with the TradingView part, you need to know that in order to achieve what I'm going to show you, you will have to have a TradingView paid subscription. A free subscription will not work. All right. So I am currently on the TradingView website, and you can see I have my Nifty futures instrument that is already added out here. Okay. Now, in order to access this instrument, I will now have to go to the super charts for this. So I'll just double click on it, and you can see this see on super charts has opened. So I'll just open this on super chart. And initially I will show you in this video, I will only show you how to integrate a TradingView indicator. A TradingView strategy integration is similar, but there are some differences that we will come to in the later stages of this code. Okay. Now we have our super chart open, so you can see the time frame is there, and the indicators and candle type and everything has been mentioned out here. Now, let's say I want to integrate an indicator. All right, I'll take a simple indicator like a super trend. So I'll just click on add indicator, and I will search for super trend. So you can see there are these technical indicators. So wherever there is an indicator, you will see that it is just the name of that indicator that is there. But wherever it is a strategy, you will see something like this as an icon that is shown. So I will just show you how to integrate an indicator first, and I'll just add this indicator. So you can see I have added this indicator out here, and now I want to basically take a trade whenever there is a crossover like this. All right. So that is my logic. Now your logic could be anything, but I am basically keeping it simple with a crossover. Now in order to generate an alert, you will have to go to this indicator, click on the three dots, and you'll see add alert on super trend. So just click on add alert. Now that you have added like the alert, this pop-up will open, and in this pop-up you will have to basically generate a condition. Just like you would generate a condition on Tradetron, similarly you'll have to generate a condition. Now my condition is that the futures value, the Nifty, is basically crossing, let's say, above, and I will select super trend out here. So you can select your logic. I'm just showing you a cross up logic, and then I will also show you the cross down logic as well. So I'll just make an alert name out here. So I can call my alert name super trend ST, and I can say up because it's my crossing up alert. All right. Now you will see notifications. So in notifications, you need to select webhook URL. When you select webhook URL, you will now have to input the URL that you need to use. Now we'll go back to our notepad that we had made in the last session. So in this session, we had basically separated this two parts. So I'll just copy this link that is there. Again, very important, use this question mark out here. After copying it, I will paste it out here. All right. Now I'll leave everything else the way it is, and I will go back to my settings. In my settings, you will see a message box out here. In the message box, I will remove everything that is currently there, and I will select my second message that I had made, and I will copy this, and now I will paste this out here. All right. So do note, I have my value as Nifty, my key as Nifty, and my value as number 1. All right. Now after doing this, I will click on create. So you can see that your alert, now the alerts that are created will be visible out here. So the alert that I have made called ST up is being generated out here. All right. Now I will go to Tradetron, and I'll go to my strategy out here. So in my strategy, I can see that I have my entry condition. Now in your entry condition, I will add a condition saying get runtime, and I will select now I will select my variable name. Now the variable name will basically be what I have selected out here. So Nifty is my variable name. So I'll just copy this, and I will paste this out here, and I'll click on OK. Now is equal to number. This is what we had shown in the first session. Now your number is basically again defined from what you've added in value. So my value is number 1. So I'll select number 1 out here and I'll click on OK. So now this basically has made your entry condition. Alright. So you now have your entry condition set up out here. I'll just submit this and I will close this. After adding your entry condition, you are now supposed to add your positions. So I'll just add whatever trade I want to take. So since I want to take let's say futures trade, I'll just select futures. I'll select Nifty, one lot, and I'll click on add. Now this was basically my crossing up trade, right? But I will also want a crossing down trade. So in that case, what I will do is I will add a new set, and after adding a new set, I will then go back to my variable. All right. Now I need to make one variable where there is a cross down. Now one way would be that I again go to the three dots and click on add alert. Another way to do this would be that you can just click on this, the alert that you have made, and there is a button called clone. So I can just click on clone, and you will see that a second alert is now generated out here. All right. So I will just click on settings out here, and in settings I'll change this cross up to crossing down. After doing this, I will change the name from up to down. So when super trend is crossing down, and now very important, I need to change this value to any other value, right? So 1 is for my long trade. Now I need a short trade, so I'll select number, let's say 2. So I change this to 2 and I'll click on save. So you can see my second alert has been made. One is ST up, one is ST down. So this is mainly for a TradingView strategy. Sorry, for a TradingView indicator. Now I will just quickly add my same condition. So it will be copy and it will be pasted out here. So the same condition, the only difference is I'm using the same variable name. The only difference is that my value will be number 2. 2 is for my short trade. So I'll just submit this and I will close it. Now I'll add my position builder. Now in my short trade I want to sell, so I'll select Nifty futures to sell. I'll select quantity as 1 lot and I will add it. Now we have basically added our entry condition, a crossover on the upside and a crossover on the downside. Now you will also want that you square off your long trade when you have a short signal, right? Or it is possible that you have generated a separate alert for your short signal also. So in that case, what you can do is you can just copy a short signal logic and just paste it in the exit. So my short signal, which is out here, which is defined here, I just copy it and I will paste it out here. So you can see whenever I get a number 1, which is basically a cross up, in that case I will take a long trade. When I get a number 2, which is cross down, I will basically take a short trade, which is I will first square off from my Nifty 50 buy position, and then my entry condition for my sell will be triggered, where it will take a short trade now. Now I will again need to do the same thing for my set 2. So I'll paste this out here. And in my set 2 we'll do the exact opposite. If I have, let's say, a number 2, which is for my short trade, and then there is a long signal, again it will invert the trade and it will now take a long trade. So this way you can basically connect your TradingView indicators with Tradetron. Now one way of knowing knowing if it is an indicator is that you can go to this source code. All right. So when you click on the source code out here, you will see the Pine editor opens, and in the Pine editor, generally if this indicator is an indicator, on the very second line itself you will see an indicator written out here. All right. If it is an alert, if it is a strategy, then you will see a strategy written out here. So this is also one way to figure out if it's an indicator or a strategy. Hi. Hi, in our last video, we saw how do we build a strategy where our entry and exit signals are coming in from TradingView. Alright, Now in this video, we will see how do we build the same strategy where the entry signal is coming from TradingView, but the exit is supposed to be done from Tradetron itself. One reminder that this kind of a strategy has to be on hybrid mode in order to function properly. If you haven't watched the video on hybrid mode and API mode, you need to first have a look at it so that you can understand this one better. All right. Now this strategy is already on hybrid mode. So I will now go to the entry conditions. Again, the entry conditions are quite similar to what I had used earlier. The same alerts will be there. What I had used previously, same alerts will be applicable out here. But there are some differences that need to be made in order to have your exit conditions be based on Tradetron. So in my strategy, I have my entry condition using my variable as Nifty and number 1, and the exit is basically happening using these conditions. So I'm checking if my if my entry price is greater than, let's say, if the current LTP is more than, let's say, 20 points, 20 points from the entry price. In that case, I will square off. Or if there is a 10-point stop loss, in that case, I will again square off this position. All right. So this will be my exit condition for my strategy. All right. Now you need to remember that when you are firing a signal from TradingView and the exit is happening from Tradetron, there is a high possibility that your entry has come in from a signal like this, like Nifty is equal to number 1. But when your exit happens, this Nifty variable will remain number 1. It will not change. It will remain number 1, and thus when your exit happens, once let's say your 20-point target or 10-point stop loss is achieved, again your entry conditions will be checked. When your entry conditions are checked again, it will see that again this Nifty is equal to number 1, and it will take a new trade. So it will take a trade, and you will feel that there is a trade taken when you cannot see any trade on the alert log on TradingView. One solution for this thing is that you basically kill the variable that you had generated at the time of entry. So what you will do is that you will generate a runtime variable. All right, and this runtime variable will basically do the job of removing this Nifty is equal to number 1 once it has taken its trade. So in order to generate the runtime variable, I'll just go to the variable and I'll add the variable name. Now the variable name will be the same variable name that I have used in my alert. So I'll just quickly go to the alert, and where you see key out there, I will just copy my variable name and I will paste this. So Nifty is my variable name, and the value that I will assign to this variable name will be number 0. Okay. By assigning a value of number 0, I am basically killing this variable. I'm telling Tradetron that this variable now doesn't exist. All right. 0 is basically by default as a false statement. All right. So by doing this, what I'm doing is my entry conditions will be checked. Then my position will be taken. After that, my runtime variable will basically kill my entry condition. All right. Kill the entry variable which was Nifty and with a number 1. Now my exit conditions will be checked. When exit is checked, it will check for my 20-point target, 10-point stop loss. When any of these are true, let's say if my 20-point target is achieved, after that it will again check for my entry conditions. Now it will wait for the next signal to be fired. Once Nifty is again fired as number 1, in that case it will take a trade. So this way, using runtime variables, you can basically make sure that your strategy is taking trades only when the signals are being sent from your TradingView alerts. All right. So I will also do the same thing for my set 2. So my set 2 is basically taking a trade when my Nifty is number 2. Now I will again want to remove this variable as Nifty with value as 2 once my trade is taken. So I'll just select number and I'll select 0, submit, close, and save. So by generating these runtime variables, I'll make sure that my secondary trades are not taken, and I will update the strategy. Now I will show you how you can define your strike price as well as the quantity in the TradingView alert itself. So a lot of people have, like, it is not necessary, but a lot of people have a requirement where they want to mention their strike price from the alert itself. Alright, so in order to do that, you can basically go to edit in the alert. So we are now in the edit of the alert, and the process that we need to do is we will just copy this entire thing, right? So ideally our objective now is to make two new variables and two new values. All right, so let me show you how will we make these two variables. All right, so first I have this key. All right, key is basically, we have already defined that key is our variable. So I will now call this key1 and I will call this key2. Okay, because this is a new variable. All right, and now this is nifty underscore strike. All right, because I'm defining my strike price. All right, and now I will define this as my strike, nifty underscore quantity. Okay, and my value of the strike will basically be value 1 and this will be value 2. All right, this is because this is key 1, the first variable and first value. All right, so and my value out here will be, let's say, 18,000. Now you can input anything out here. You can generate a variable on TradingView and input that as well. That's something that you can research online, and you'll find plenty of articles about that. Now nifty quantity is basically my value 2, and value 2 I can add it as something in terms of the overall quantity. So I can select, let's say, 50, because 50 is the lot size of nifty. Now after doing this, I will just add a comma out here. All right, after adding the comma, I will now copy this entire thing, Control C, and I will add a comma here and I will paste this. All right, so basically what I have done is that I have added my previously I had only one variable, nifty and value 1. Now I have nifty value 1, nifty strike as value 18,000, and nifty quantity as value 50. All right, so I will now remove all the spaces like I had done previously, and you can see the previous JSON code has now become one comprehensive big JSON code which has all the values needed, and I will now paste this out here. So you can see that TradingView has checked my JSON code and it is now correct. Now I can just save this. So now after saving this, I'll just go again to the edit of my strategy, and in here I will go to my position builder, since I have generated a strike FX. Now first in the strike FX, I'll go to FX and I'll click on the FX button, and out here I'll select get runtime as my keyword and my variable name. So variable name will basically be what I had selected out here. So nifty underscore strike is what my variable name was. So I'll just copy this and I will paste it out here and I'll click on OK. So now whatever nifty strike is being fired will be coming in the strike FX. Remember one thing, when we are selecting quantity out here, you need to select quantity and you cannot select lots. If you select lots and select an FX, then it will not work. Alright, you need to select quantity out here if you are selecting an FX in the quantity FX of the position builder. So I'll just click on FX now. And I will do the same thing out here. I will select get runtime and my variable name will basically be nifty underscore quantity. Do note that this can now be removed, like this is not needed. This is only the part that is needed for your JSON code. Alright, and now I'll paste this and I'll click on OK. So this has now successfully defined my nifty strike as my strike price, which will come in from TradingView, as well as nifty underscore quantity as the quantity that will again come from TradingView. One additional measure that you can do is that you can, just like you were previously killing the variable of nifty. So you can see out here the variable of nifty was being killed by your runtime variable. Similarly, you can also kill the strike price and the quantity FX as well. So I can again go to nifty underscore strike, copy this, and I will add this in the runtime variable too. And again, my value will be the same number 0. Okay, and I will submit it. And you will have to do this for both the sets. So I'll save this. Similarly, I'll do it for my quantity also. So nifty underscore quantity, I will copy this and I will paste it out here as my variable name, and my value will be number 0. Now again, I'm reminding this is not necessary. You don't really need to do it because you can anyway generate an FX on Tradetron for strike and quantity, but this is only for specialized cases when you actually need a strike and a quantity FX in your position builder. So this is how you can generate your strike and quantity quantity FX. Now I will show you how can you do this for different instruments. So let's say this is currently on Nifty, but now I want to generate this on Bank Nifty, right? So how can you do it for Bank Nifty? If I need to generate this for Fin Nifty, how do you do that? So basically you need to go to TradingView and you need to select the relevant instrument. Like let's say this is Bank Nifty and you need to generate your alert on the same. So I'll just go to the three dots and I'll click on add alert. After I click on add alert, again I will do the same process. I'll make a new alert like I showed you in the first session. I'll make a new alert. So if I need this for Bank Nifty, I will again go to my same auth token and the JSON code that I had built. And previously I had selected Nifty as the variable name. Now I'll select Nifty BN. Alright. And again I will copy this thing and I will paste it out here. Alright. I paste it in the message and I will make a new set out here. So I will make my set 3. So I'll just add a new set and I will add my condition out here. Again, I'll add my keyword as get runtime and I will select my variable name which I had generated as Nifty BN and I will paste this and I'll again select is equal to, then I'll select number and I will define it so on as shown here. I select number as 1 and so on. So this way you can generate one strategy. Like one strategy can be used for multiple different instruments. So you can have your set 1 and 2 for let's say Nifty, set 3 and 4 for Bank Nifty, long, Bank Nifty, short, set 4 and set 5 and 6 for Fin Nifty and so on. So you can pretty much generate one set for every different alert that you are making. So let's say if you want to add HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, all the Nifty constituents, all of them can be done in a same way by adding multiple different sets on the same strategy on Tradetron. So I hope this session helped you. In the next session, we will basically look at how to integrate TradingView strategies. Up till now, we were speaking about TradingView indicators. We will now look at TradingView strategies from the next session onwards. Thank you. Hi. In our last video, we had covered how do you connect your TradingView indicator with Tradetron, and we went quite a lot in detail about how do you do it. But till now, what we haven't spoken about is how do you connect a TradingView strategy with Tradetron. So before we get into TradingView strategy connection with TradingView with the Tradetron, let's first check how do you understand if it's a strategy or an indicator. So if you need to figure out the same, you basically need to go to add indicators, and when you go to technicals, you will basically see two different demarcations. One is for indicators, one is for strategies. Another way to figure out is that you can see this symbol out here, and by this symbol you'll be able to figure out if it is a strategy or an indicator. Wherever you see this symbol is basically a strategy, and indicators will generally not have that same symbol. So let's go and have a look at any one strategy. Let's look at this Bollinger Band strategy and now see how do we integrate this. So with TradingView strategies, one more way of finding out if it's a strategy or not, you can go to the source code. By clicking here, you can go to the source code and you will see on the line 2 it will be written as strategy, but for indicators it will always be mentioned as indicator. So this is how you can identify if it's an indicator or a strategy. Now if I need to generate an alert for this, the very critical difference between an indicator and a TradingView strategy will be that the indicator will allow you to generate a signal somewhat like this. So it will allow you to generate a signal like this where you have a key which will be Nifty and a value as number 1. But you can fire this for a long trade, and for your short trade you will fire key and value as number 2. So that you'll have two different values. When you look at a TradingView strategy, you will not have the flexibility of selecting two different alerts for one particular strategy. So every alert will have only one message that you can put in. So how can you fit in your buy alert and your sell alert into one alert using your TradingView strategy? The answer to that lies in the TradingView placeholders. So let's first explore what are these placeholders. So in order to generate your alert, first we will just go to the three dots and we can click on add alert for the TradingView strategy. Then you go to notifications, check if your link is added correctly, and then you can go to settings. Now in settings, I'll just add a I'll add a name called BB for my Bollinger Band strategy, and I will basically delete everything that is in here. Now I will have to go back to my notepad and I will need to understand what is this strategy.order.action that is a placeholder from TradingView. Now TradingView allows you to fire certain variables within your JSON code, and those variables will be interpreted by the TradingView server, and that server will basically fire a response. So it could be either a buy or a sell in case of this strategy.order.action placeholder. Now using this placeholder, we can now add our TradingView action that we need to do into this JSON code, and therefore we can trigger a trade on Tradetron based on what code has come in. So I'll just use this same code, and you can see in key I have added Nifty. Now I will just, within the same double quotations, I will just add an underscore out here, and I will copy this this placeholder, which is strategy.order.action. Make sure your spellings are correct out here, because if there's a slight mistake, it will not work. We'll copy and paste it along with these curly brackets. So with these two curly brackets, I'll just copy and paste it. And now I will copy this entire thing, the whole JSON code that we have generated, and I will paste it on my TradingView strategy. Now I'll click on create, and you can see out here my TradingView strategy has been created. That's about what you need to do from TradingView's end. Now we will see how we are supposed to integrate the same thing with Tradetron. So I have my strategy built that I had made previously, and I'll just go to the entry conditions. So in entry, I'll go to edit. Now out here you can see that it is a get runtime called Nifty. Now we know that from TradingView, in the strategy, it will not fire Nifty, it will fire Nifty underscore buy or Nifty underscore sell. So in case when I want to take a long trade, I will basically change my variable name to Nifty underscore buy, because I know that strategy.order.action will either send me a buy or a sell. And I've added an underscore just to make it separated so that I can clearly see what is going on. So I'll just add my Nifty underscore buy as my variable name, and I'll click on OK. So now whenever I have Nifty underscore buy as number 1, that is when my signal for my entry will be triggered. So I will just close this, and similarly I will have the same for my short position. So when I have to take a short trade, I will again go to my edit condition for my set 2, and again in get runtime I will basically add an underscore, and now I know that my strategy.order.action will send me a sell in case of a sell trade. So I will again go back to my entry condition and I will make this as sell. So by adding this, I will now know that my variable is coming in as Nifty underscore sell, and my number out here is number 1. Alright, it is not number 2. Do note that it is number 1 that is coming in. So this is a very critical difference between a TradingView indicator and a TradingView strategy. So now I have my Nifty underscore sell as equal to number 1. Alright. Now I'll just update my strategy. However, this is not done. We need to yet do one more very important step. Alright. Now if you note, when your Nifty underscore buy is being triggered, at that time you are going long. Alright. And when it is Nifty underscore sell, you are going short. Alright. Short, or you are buying a put or whatever. That is what you can define using your position builder. But now it is very possible that when your strategy basically fires a buy signal and tells you to go long, and after that it fires a sell signal and tells you to go short. But as per what we've understood from the previous sessions on Tradetron, when let's say Nifty sell comes in, it is possible that Nifty buy is yet active, right? I mean, Nifty buy, you need to make sure that Nifty buy variable has been killed before your sell variable comes in. So in order to do that, we will now again use our runtime variable concept that we have learned earlier. So in order to do this, I will go to the runtime variable. Now previously I had made a runtime variable as Nifty is equal to number 0. Now I will change this and I will make this Nifty underscore buy as number 0. So now this way, I'll just minimize my screen. Yeah. So now by this way, I can make sure that whenever I get Nifty underscore buy and my entry in my set 1 is triggered, at that time, my after the entry trade is taken, my runtime variable will basically kill this Nifty underscore buy that I had lying around. So after this is killed, my strategy can take an entry. Now it will now check for its exit conditions. Once my exit conditions are triggered, it will basically stay dormant. It will square off the position, and now it will wait for my sell trade or another buy trade to come. So if in case there is another buy trade, it will again take my trade, and now I will again generate the same runtime variable. So I will select Nifty underscore sell, and in my value I will have number as 0. So this way I am able to purge my variable every time I have a new alert that is coming in from TradingView. Now you can also have a slightly different version of this, where your strategy, whenever let's say there is an entry condition, there's an entry triggered where Nifty underscore buy is triggered, and after that if there is a Nifty underscore sell, you basically want to square off the position. So what you can do is you can again use the same concept that we had earlier learned. You can copy this Nifty underscore sell is equal to number 1 and you can paste it out here. So you can paste it or you can add it as an OR condition as well. It doesn't really make a difference. You can again copy the same thing from your entry, and in your set to exit you can paste it. Now whenever there is a Nifty underscore buy that is fired from my Bollinger Band strategy, it will basically take my trade for my entry into the long trade. And once let's say Nifty underscore sell is triggered from the same Bollinger Band strategy, it will basically exit my position from the buy, and it will now enter my sell position. So this way you can build and modify your strategies on Tradetron using TradingView. One additional thing that you need to do in such a case would be that I would suggest you add a position detail just to make sure that in case there is an open position, no action is taken. So only when the position is squared off, then the next trade can be triggered. So I'll just add my instrument. My underlying will be, and I'll click on OK, is equal to number, and I will select 0 out here, and I will submit this, and I will close this. Now I'll go to my set 2. Again I'll add my position detail. Basically position detail will be able to check if only there is if there are no open positions in my strategy, only then it will take a trade. Otherwise it will wait for the previous position to be squared off. So I've added my Nifty position detail here. Okay, is equal to number 0, and I will close this, and I will now update my strategy. So I hope this session on the TradingView runtime variable and strategy integration helped. We will, in the next session, we will look at how do we integrate a Tradetron list with TradingView, and how do you fire a signal from TradingView, and then it is captured into a list on Tradetron. So stay tuned for that. Thank you. Hi. Up till now, we've covered how do you integrate a number of instruments with a TradingView strategy or a TradingView indicator. However, we've only seen how do we integrate 1, 2 or 3 instruments with that particular strategy or indicator. What if you need multiple different instruments? What if you need a list, maybe a Nifty 50 list, or let's say all the future and option stocks? What if you want to integrate that with your TradingView strategy or indicator? In this video, we will now cover how do you integrate Tradetron list with TradingView. So let's get into it. If you need to integrate your Tradetron list, you first need to make a list. So in this video, let's see how do you make your list. So I'll just go to add, and out here I will just select a list name. So I'll call it India. All right. And if you need to trade in, let's say in futures or options, then you select NFO. But if you need to trade in your cash stocks, then you select NSE, and you can add your underlying. So I'll select, let's say HDFC Bank. All right, and I will add it. And similarly, I'll select ICICI, and you can like add any number of stocks you need, and you can save this list. So I'll just call it India underscore list, and I will save it. So my list has been created successfully. Now what I will do is I will copy this list name and I will close this. Now what you need to do is you need to first generate your alert on TradingView, and then you need to generate the same runtime variables for the same. So let's hop on to TradingView and see how can we generate the alert for such an instrument. So I'll just go to indicators and I will add a new strategy. So I'll just add any strategy, maybe something like channel breakout strategy, and I will go to the 3 dots as usual, and I will generate an alert for it. So let's explore what alert will we use now. So up till now we have mainly looked at a strategy where we were using a placeholder of strategy.order.action. But now if we want to have, let's say, multiple different instruments being fired, in that case we need to use a new placeholder called ticker. So ticker will basically return the ticker name of that particular instrument. So let's say if you're trading in, if you make this alert on HDFC Bank, it will return HDFC BANK, which is the ticker name of HDFC Bank at the moment. So by using this ticker placeholder, you can attach this into your JSON code, and then you can use this entire HDFC Bank underscore buy or underscore sell with your value as 1, and then fire it to Tradetron in order to take your trade. So let's see where we will place our ticker variable name. So let's I have the JSON code ready in front of me that we've used in the past videos as well. So this JSON code out here, previously I was using Nifty, or I was using Nifty BN, or I was using Nifty FN for Fin Nifty. Now I will just remove this this Nifty keyword, and I will change it to ticker. So I'll just copy ticker and I will paste it here. Now this ticker will return something like HDFC Bank underscore buy or underscore sell, and this is what we want. So I will just copy this entire thing and I will paste it out here in my alert, and I will just name an alert out here as test, and I will create this. Now this particular alert has been generated for me. Now let's go to my my Tradetron strategy and see what we need to do. So I will just go to the edit of the strategy, and out here you can see the runtime variable is there. So I'll just, so my runtime variable is basically Nifty underscore buy. But now I know that I will not be getting a value as Nifty underscore buy. I will get HDFC Bank underscore buy. So now I need to call in my list. So if I need to call in the list, I need to use this this symbol called the pipe. So this symbol is, it's not the I symbol. It's not a capital I. It is a pipe. So the pipe will be somewhere below the backspace and above the enter on your QWERTY keyboard. So it's a straight line. So just select the pipe symbol and just put in the list name. So in my case, the list name was India underscore list. So again, this list name has to match exactly what the list name you have built. So now that I have put my India underscore list underscore buy, this should ideally help me solve my problem. So this variable name will now check for conditions as HDFC Bank underscore buy, ICICI Bank underscore buy, and if you have any other instruments in the list, it will then check it one after the other. So this way you are calling the entire list for that particular instrument. Now there's one caveat here. What happens is that when you use TradingView and when you use TradingView with stocks, this kind of a method will work perfectly fine. But if you're using TradingView with futures, in that case, TradingView basically has a naming method wherein whenever you have, let's say a futures instrument, in that case, the ticker name will not just return HDFC Bank, it will return HDFC Bank 1 exclamation mark. This means that it is basically looking at the futures instrument. So how do we offset this 1 exclamation mark? So in order to do that, I will just go to my get runtime keyword again, and I will select 1 and I will add an exclamation mark. So now when TradingView returns this HDFC Bank 1 exclamation mark, the same thing will be captured out here. It will become HDFC Bank 1 exclamation mark underscore buy. And when this happens, it will basically understand that my get runtime condition is true. After that, it will check for my position detail. So I'll just quickly change my position detail underlying to India underscore list. And I've selected the list. I'll submit it and I will close it. Now what's left is I need to just select my list. I'll just select India underscore list and I will delete my old position builders and I will just add my new position builder, which is taking trades in my futures of that particular instrument. Or you can of course select options or whatever you need. So I'll just stick to futures and I will click on, I'll select current month and I'll click on add. So now it will, whenever let's say HDFC Bank comes in, it will basically fire a trade for HDFC Bank and then carry on with the other condition checking. Now you also need to remember that after your entry condition is taken, you also need to remove that variable. You need to kill this variable, right? So in order to do that, I can see that I have already added my Nifty underscore buy as my variable. So now I don't need Nifty underscore buy. I need HDFC Bank number 1 exclamation mark underscore buy to be removed. So we have already discussed how to remove it. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest you have a look at our previous sessions. So again, I will select India underscore list as my list name. Then after that, I will select 1 exclamation mark, and this will basically handle the deletion of that variable. So now this, once HDFC Bank 1 exclamation mark underscore buy is come, after the trade is taken, it will be killed. And I will save this and I will close this. Now I can do the same for my exit conditions. So before doing it for exit, I'll do it for my set 2 and I'll quickly just change the variable name, add my pipes first, then I'll add India underscore list and then I will add number 1 exclamation mark underscore sell. So this will then pertain to my my sell trade that will be triggered with value as number 1. Again, in position detail, I will change my my instrument name to India underscore list and I'll select OK, submit it, close it. Again, in my set 2, I will select the same list, which is at the bottom of the page, and then I will delete my position builder, add my position builder, select what I want to trade. I basically want my futures to happen and I'll select 1 lot and I'll add it. So now it will take a exit trade in the same. Now I will again modify my same runtime variable. I will remove Nifty, add my 2 pipes. In the middle of the pipes, add India underscore list number 1 exclamation mark. Now do remember that some lists have a space in the middle. In the variable name, we won't be allowing a space in the middle. So you'll have to make a new list or a custom list with no space. So space and special characters are not allowed, but you're only allowed to use some important characters like the exclamation mark, the pipe and so on, the underscore and so on. So these will be allowed. You can now do the same for your exit conditions. So in my exit, I'll just copy this. My set 2 entry will basically be my set 1 exit. So I cannot see paste as of now, so I'll just update the strategy. And now I will just go to my set 1 exit. And I will paste it. So you can see the same condition builder that is used in the first set. And you can also add, let's say, a group, and you can add your specific conditions for target and stop loss also, which could be checked on the Tradetron condition builder. So let's say if you need a target of whatever 10 points or 10% or so on, you can add that along with the stop loss as a condition out here, and then that could also be checked. That will also work seamlessly. So I have saved this, and now I will copy my set 1 condition and I will paste it out here. Again, I will remove the position detail from the exit because it is not needed. I'll close this and I will update the strategy. So this is how you can save a ton of effort for you. Instead of making, let's say, multiple sets for different instruments, you make only 1 or 2 sets, call in a list, and then use your ticker inside TradingView in order to generate your trades. In just 2 lists, I have done the work which I would otherwise have to use multiple different sets to build one by one, which is always prone to manual errors and mistakes. One thing you need to note is that there are some symbols, there are very few symbols where the ticker name that TradingView sends in is slightly different from the ticker name that Tradetron accepts. So one example would be, I think, Mahindra and Mahindra Finance. So M&M would use a special character on TradingView, but the same is not acceptable on Tradetron. So very few different instruments are there which are not supported in this method, but most of your futures or options instruments will be accepted. In the next session, we will see how do you debug certain issues that you face in these TradingView related strategies. So be tuned for it. Thank you. Hi, after learning about integrating your external indicator or your external strategy with Tradetron, it is now very important to know how do you debug strategies. You may build the entire strategy, but if it doesn't work as per your logic, it is very important to learn how to be able to check at the right places when you're supposed to debug that particular issue. So in order to debug any strategy, you first need to follow these steps. So the first thing that you need to check for is that you have selected the right API mode. So is it on API mode as hybrid, or is it not on hybrid? And why have you selected that particular thing? After that, the next thing you need to check is you need to go to edit in your strategy and you need to check the template properly. Now, when you check the template, do make sure you're checking for all different possibilities of typos in the get runtime keyword, in the build logic. So at times you may use a repair once where you're supposed to actually use an exit. So always check for these kind of logic related issues. All of that needs to be checked at the time of building the strategy. So once you are 100% sure that all the entry conditions, all the exit conditions, all the runtime variables, everything is built correctly as per your logic, there is no typo in them, in that case, you can now proceed to deploy the strategy on paper trade. Now deploy this paper trade strategy at least for the period of 7 to 10 days so that you are sure that it is working as per your logic for a period of two trading weeks. Now that you have deployed the strategy, I'll just show you where you could go wrong. So after you update the strategy, just deploy it on paper trade. So when you deploy it on paper trade, it is possible that after deployment, you wait for quite some time, but even after waiting, the trade is never being taken. So on TradingView, you can see that your alerts are being generated, but for some reason on Tradetron, your trades are not being taken. If you see a situation like this, where your strategy is deployed, but the trades are not being taken, then the first thing that you need to check for would be go to the 3 dots and check on the runtime data. All right, you see runtime data. So whenever there is an external signal coming in, or there is an external runtime variable being made, in that case, the data of the same will be visible on the runtime data page. So check this runtime data page. If this runtime data page has the details of the variables being fired, then there is a different set of process that you need to do, which I will come to soon. If you see that there is no details in the runtime data, then it is a high possibility. Like let's say if you see something like this, where there is no details of any runtime data being made, then there is a high possibility that you have made a mistake either in your JSON code that you have made out here. Either the JSON code is a mistake, or you have possibly made a mistake out here in the auth token. So if you what you need to do now is that you need to go to my strategies. You need to go to your My Strategies, go to the three dots, and on the three dots, you'll see API OAuth token. Now click on API OAuth token, and out here, you will see a link. All right. Now in this link, you will see an auth token number out here. So 2875F61A. So this auth token needs to match exactly with what you have put in your runtime, in your JSON code. All right. So if this thing is different, then it will not work. That means it's going somewhere else, and you need to use the same auth token that is visible out here. So if you check for the auth token and the auth token is correct, if you check for the JSON code that is built and the JSON code is also correct, in that case you can check if there are any extra spaces in the JSON code. Any extra spaces could also cause a problem. So after that, if all of this is correct, in that case you can then check this link. Is the link that you have added correct? And it is very important that you have this question mark at the end of the link. If the question mark is not there, it will not work. It will give you problems. So check for that. After checking for all of this, if you see that the runtime variable is yet not there, then one thing that you can try is to check the alert that you have made on TradingView. It is a high possibility that you may have made a mistake in making the alert, and that is why the alert is not being generated. So that is the next thing that you should see. In most cases, by checking with any of these few errors, it should be able to solve the problem. One more thing that I missed is that the value and the key that you have mentioned out here, that has to be in small cap. If it is in large cap, it will not work. So always make sure this JSON is correct. If that is correct and everything that you've made on the TradingView alert is correct, then there is a high chance that it is working as per your logic. In a case where even if you've tried everything and it is yet not showing you any details in the runtime data, then one last thing that you can do is again go to this API auth, and now just copy this entire link. So just highlight this link, copy it, and paste this link. So just open a new tab on your browser and paste this link. All right, just paste it as it is, and it should give you a message called OK. If it is not giving you an OK message, and do note that you have to do it after you have deployed the strategy. If it is not giving you an OK message, or it is giving you an error out here, in that case I would suggest you now contact the support team, because it will need someone else's external guidance in order to get this checked. If it is giving you the OK message, now what you're supposed to do is just go back to the deployed page, and after reloading the page, after you click on that link and then reload the page and you open the runtime data, you should be able to see something like this: API_by. Now this API_by will come because you have basically put this thing in the key out here. So if your key is API_by, so this means that your that the strategy is proper, like what you've done is correct, and now there is only a possibility that you have made some mistake on your on the alert that you have made on TradingView. So that should be checked once. Now if you do everything correctly, in that case, when you integrate your strategy, your alert that you see that has come from TradingView on the runtime data should look something like this. Now coming to the second possibility, that you are seeing runtime data out here but trade is not being taken. In that case, what you need to check is that this runtime data, you now need to you can now be sure that the integration with TradingView and Tradetron is done correctly. You have made a mistake in your condition builder or your position builder of Tradetron. Alright, so if you see that this variable, external variable is coming in correctly and the values are captured correctly, this means that there is some mistake you have made with your condition or position builder. In order to check for what exactly could be the mistake that is made from the condition or position builder, you can now go to the notification log. So just go to the three dots and click on notification log. So in the notification log, what you will see, in case your trade is not taken, is, so in case your trade is not taken and you open the notification log and you are continuously seeing something like this, the log of that same thing is just continuously being generated. There is no trade being taken, it's just that this log is being generated again and again, again and again. In that case, there is a possibility that you have made a mistake with your position builder. So that is the point where you could go and check your position builder for that particular condition that you've made. There is also a possibility that you're not seeing anything in the notification log. The notification log is completely empty. In that case, it is possible that you have made a mistake with your condition builder. So that is where you need to go and check. So I hope this video on the debugging and where you need to go and check for what during different issues helped. If you're yet stuck on any issue, I would suggest you can feel free to drop in a mail to contact@tradetron.tech or support@tradetron.tech, and the support team would be happy to help you with how to take it forward. So thank you very much for your time and patiently watching this entire course. I hope you learned something new from this course, and do feel free to connect with us if you have any queries and doubts. Thank you.